This is the cheapest car I've ever bought. That's because I bought it stolen and crashed and with no key. We also found out this isn't even the first time it's been stolen. It's been stolen twice. When I first got this car, it had a lot of fingerprint dust all over the car and the interior. It was really bad. We've cleaned this car inside and out, but today we're gonna get onto the more pressing matter. All this damage. You see, if you don't know, we're rebuilding cars until we get a supercar, and even though I only got this for $1,700, we still have to work out whether or not this is worth repairing. Because right now we've got two options. You see, the first option with this car is we could fix it and sell it. We've got a lot of margin in it, it should work. And this could be a really nice daily driver for me. Option number two is there are a lot of good parts both inside and outside this car. So today we're gonna rip the front end off this car and decide whether or not we part this out or rebuild it. There are a couple things in this engine bay that I can see is broken. When we got a hold of the previous owner, he actually let us know this car has an APR Stage 2 Plus tune on it, which explains this carbon APR intake. Unfortunately, this, well, yeah, it's cracked. But I've got to say, looking from the top down, all these fans seem to be fine, and it doesn't look like any damage has actually hit the engine. So we know there's oil in it. Hopefully it is good and it will turn over when we get there. I think the very first thing we should do is get this front bar off and see what we're working with behind it. With front end damaged cars, there can be a lot more damage hiding behind the bumper. So the plan is we're gonna strip everything and have a really good look at it. And right where the car's taken the biggest hit, we're gonna hope under that fender, there's no structural damage. There should still be some lights and stuff connected, but that should be most of it. And that is the bumper off. All right, we got the bumper off the front of the car, and immediately we can notice some things. First of all, this is the fog light. On the other side here, we actually don't have one. Great. Second thing, the previous owner told us he put a Mars Performance RS3 style front bar on it, and this is in fact an RS3 style front bar. I'd like to put another one on there if we can. And coming over to the actual damage on the car itself, this is where things get a little bit tedious. You see, with front end damaged cars, there's a lot of parts behind here. So when a car's hit hard, there's a lot of little things that break, and that's typically what blows out the repairs cost in front end damaged cars. So the first and biggest thing is we can see most of the hit was happened on the front driver's side, and this crash bar here, even though that is a bit waved, that's meant to be like that. You can see it on the opposite side here. The crash bar is fine, which means it's missed the chassis legs, which is really good because we didn't want to be dealing with any structural damage on this car. Now, if we put the bonnet down, it really looks like the hit's been between this crash bar and the hood here. On this AC condenser that keeps your aircon cool, you can see it's bent down the top here. Now, the actual channels that carry the Freon, which is the gas/fluid that travels through your aircon condenser, looks all right. So 50-50 chance whether or not we need that. But there are some things we definitely do need. Obvious things are a new hood, a new fender. It's always good to replace these hood hinges because typically they bend, a new headlight, a new washer box, and this black bar that goes from one side of the car to the other, this is the radiator support. And you can see it's cracked in a couple places. Everywhere it bolts to the car, it's had some stress. And even inside here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but there is a stress crack along the inside there. Now on the newer S3 that I had, these aircon lines actually run through the radiator support, and the only way to take the radiator support off is to degas and disconnect the AC first, which is annoying because legally that's actually not something I can do myself. You can't legally vent Freon to the atmosphere. You need to have a professional come and do that for you. Anyway, for the time being, we're gonna keep on. I've also noticed, despite having the holes for like the parking sensors in the front, I can't see any wiring for them, so I'm assuming maybe they've just deleted it. I think the next thing to do is to get this fairing off, and then the headlight. Now, if you're just tuning in and wanting to follow along the rebuilding cars until we get a supercar, make sure you're subscribed, because right now we've got 3 separate projects going. I'm even going interstate to pick another one up very shortly, so stay tuned for that. As I'm doing this, there's a lot of like tension being relieved. You can see it's popped straight off and the holes are not lining up. This little bit here where the fender actually bolts to just under the headlight is definitely bent, but we'll have to do some hammering and some bending to get it back into shape once we've got a new one. So this part's like my least favorite because it's where you get the most dirty. There's 2 bolts in the side of the fender here that bolt just behind where the door is in the door jamb. There's not a lot of room there actually, but we actually have to get the fender liner out to be able to get to it, and that's sometimes annoying. Now most cars have these bolts in the fenders that are close to the front of the door, and they're just notoriously hard to get to. So after mucking around with it for ages and ages, I did finally manage to get to it. And you can see here where the bolts actually are. See that bolt just in there? Also, these bolts were insanely tight. Oh God, I can't. Hear that noise? Yeah, that's how friggin' tight it was. Last bolt's at the top here. Yep. With all those unbolted, the fender should come off now, but I run into a bit of a problem. Why is everything so hard? Okay, so it looks still joined somehow at the bottom down here. Okay, so there's actually 2 more bolts that are covered by underseal, so I don't know how the hell. So just there's 2 more bolts that are actually covered in underseal. So I'm gonna get a pick, try and pick it out. And so this is a bit of a weird one. At first I thought the bottom of the fender was actually welded to the rest of the pinch weld on the bottom, but then I realized those 2 bolts were just covered with underseal, which is a strange thing to do. Underseal helps stop the car from rusting, and it's very rubber-like in its texture. So we're gonna grab my favorite tool ever, a tiny little hose pick, and just pick at it until we can free up the bolts and undo it. But while I was doing this, I realized someone's jacked this car up improperly and bent that pinch weld so that we definitely can't get a ratchet there. It is a little bit hard to see from this angle, but those bolts are pointed upwards. So this is the jack point here that's meant to indicate that you jack it from here where the weld's strong. This is flimsy sheet metal that the fender bolts to. You don't jack it from there. This happens from jacking it there. Hammers fix everything. This should come off. What? Fender off. And thankfully, it's actually some good news underneath. So underneath the fender, the main thing I was worried about was this part right here. And although it does look a little bit deformed, I checked on the other side and it looks exactly the same. This is in perfect condition. If that were to say be bent downwards, it would be a problem for a couple of reasons. 1, it is a structural piece, but 2, this is the bigger one. The VIN number for this car is actually stamped onto the body of it just there. So if that needed to be replaced, I would have had to get it from Audi, and I assume that would be a horrific process. I didn't really want to do that. Next thing, let's get this light out. I honestly think I'm gonna be able to just, yeah. Okay, cool. Headlight out. Now we're just gonna take the washer bottle out. This was pretty easy. There was just 3 bolts, 2 behind it and 1 up the top, and then it comes straight out. Yo! Shockingly, I'm actually a bit surprised. This is everything torn down, and all the big things look fine. Crash bar looks completely fine. The chassis rail looks completely fine. We do have some bending on this structural piece here, but honestly, that might even just bolt in. Even that bolts in, it's not even welded in. We can unbolt that and bolt another one on there because that's bent. Now the things that we do need is the headlight, the fender, the washer bottle. We need the other side of this fog lamp. We're going to need this radiator support along here, and on this side I did notice at the bottom this bracket thing that holds the headlight in, broken on this side, so we're gonna need that. And we need the bumper itself, the hood itself, and annoyingly, we're actually gonna need a door. Now it is time to work out whether or not this thing is worthwhile salvaging. There's a lot of money in parts here, and we also don't have a key. So I tried to call Audi the other day, they didn't answer. I spam called over a couple hours and I didn't hear anything back. All these parts, minus pretty much the bumper, could be found from the same place. We could do this for pretty cheap. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. So right now, if you bought all these parts individually, it would be actually still quite expensive. So we're gonna go have a look at something now that might take care of most of these problems, but there is a big but to it. It might not work and it might not take care of everything. Pretty much, I'm going to look at a 2009 Audi A3. The reason why I was pretty confident in buying this S3 is that they share a lot of the same body panels as the A3s, and they're getting older, they're getting cheaper. So I was pretty confident I'd be able to get a lot of cheap body panels that I needed. They share a lot of the same parts. This guy's about 30 minutes away from me. He's got it listed for $1,000. It would cost me $350 extra to get it to my house. This would take care of most of the problems. As long as the hood, fender, door, and headlight is in good shape, doing things this way would mean we could get all the body panels in one hit and even have a bumper to use in the interim until we get an RS3 style bumper. So this could be quite cheap for us. But the biggest problem is it's not the same color. We could end up spending about $3,000 in paint alone. This car's got almost 300,000 kilometers on it, and it does look in pretty good shape for that amount of Ks. And the owner says that the fuel pump stopped working, so it's cranking but won't start. Was it parked for a while, or?
Yeah, quite a few months.
Is there a reason the back?
They always fall off, man.
Oh, really?
Have you had Audis before?
Not older ones. I have, not older ones though. Yeah. They just fall off, do they? Well, that kind of rules out my theory of this being used as a runner car with stuff stashed in the seats. Apparently they just fall off.
Low pressure fuel pump won't turn on, so I don't know whether it's a fuel pump issue, fuse issue, I don't know. We've had a couple of guys come out and look at the vehicle. They've tried to jump start it, no luck.
The only annoying thing about this is this airbox I couldn't use to replace the ARP airbox. We're probably going to have to buy the same one since it's been tuned for that. But this radiator support looks in pretty good shape. And that's when I found out the bad thing. Has it been hit before on the front?
Sorry?
Has it been hit on the front before? I can just see like some
hail damage
lines where it looks...
Possibly.
This is pretty annoying. These crease lines in the bonnet, I don't believe are that easily fixed. Because these hoods are aluminum, the metal's really hard to work with. So having these crease lines pretty much means that I'm going to have to go for a new bonnet. If it was a bit of hail damage, that's not too bad. You can bog it up and spray over it and it's going to look just fine.
Left side's kangaroo hit the left side, which is why it's a different headlight. That's a bit folded in. That's a bit damaged. Have a think about it. Go home, have a think about it, and if you're keen, I can send you a video of it turning over. There's no issues there.
I did have a quick look at the tyres too, and they were pretty bold. The fact that the hood isn't really usable is actually a shame, because the point of buying a whole other car is to be able to use everything and not have to buy parts I don't have. I'm also thinking more and more about the fact that I'd have to paint everything as well. Whereas if I could find a car with the same paint code, I should be able to get away with just bolting it on. There are things we could get off it. For example, the fender that was on that car was in pretty good nick. The door was also in pretty good nick, and if you remember, this is where ours has been jimmied open. That car also had 2 keys with it. Now, I do think I could swap over the locks and the ignition barrel, but I think I would still need to code those keys to the car, which would save me a little bit of money because the keys didn't have to be cut, but I think the way the immobilizer works is the keys are connected to the ECU. So even if I replaced everything, it wouldn't work. He was very firm on $1,000, which is what he had it listed for, which, to be fair, it's not a horrible price. I would also have to then get it transported to here, which would then cost an extra $350. So I think we should have another look, see if there's anything up for auction. A3, S3, crashed in the right way, same paint code. If we can get something the same paint code, let's see what's available at the auctions. Okay, got my laptop here and we're gonna go through and check each of the auction sites and see if there's a car in the same paint code. That would be the holy grail, because that's what we're going to be able to do this for the cheapest amount. And there's nothing. Yeah, this kind of sucked. I checked all 3 auction sites that I usually look on, and even though there was an 8P Audi, the only one that I found in my state had damage to the bonnet and none of them were the right color. So we couldn't find anything. And I am thinking the S3 is worth a hell of a lot more than what I paid in parts alone. So if we can't fix it for the right price, maybe it's best to part it out. We could go down the parting out route, but I don't really want to do that. See, this all started, 1, because I wanted to show myself that I could do something hard, and 2, I wanted to drive a car that I liked. And right now, there's 4 vehicles in the garage, plus 1 out the front. 2 weeks from now, I'm going on a bit of a holiday, and I'm going to be bringing back another project that I bought a long time ago. If I buy another car to use as a donor for the S3, that means there's going to be 7 cars sitting here. Now don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't have the space for it, but still I don't want this place turning into a car yard. The original plan was to do both the motorbikes, then the car that I've got coming, and then the S3. But because of the weight on these WOVI inspections, which is a ridiculous weight, the WOVI bookings being so far away means that even when I do have the cars ready, I have to wait for those appointments. The S3 is the only car that I don't actually need one of those appointments for, which means it's the only one I can actually do and sell now. But I also need all the money to be able to fix the car that's coming, pay for some of the parts on the ZX4RR, and be able to fix this S3. I bought some of these projects so I would have videos to make. Right now in the rebuild account, we only have $4,500 odd left in the bank account, which, I mean, it sounds like a reasonable amount, but really when you think about parts, front bumper for that S3, even off AliExpress can be $750 plus paint. It's not that much when you're talking about cars like this. So we're gonna rebuild this thing because I want something cool to drive that's gonna replace that damn Ford Fiesta. We just need to stay within our bounds this time and make sure that this is gonna be financially viable. So we're gonna wait until we can find a white A3 or S3, the same paint code with good panels on it that we can just buy, replace all the panels. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.